Baby, you have made it to day 20. You hold on a minute. We can even do a little dance, baby. Day 20? Oh, yeah. Yeah, baby. Day 20, 40 money spells. You have put in, you and I, us, we have put in a lot of work. Day 20 is going to be one of my favorite days. I did some research. Normally, I just look at it when I join y'all and we wing it from there. I did some research ahead of time for our conversation today. By the way, my appointment went fine on my mouth. I went to a dental appointment. My filling had fell out. I didn't know if I was going to need a filling replaced, a crown, or removal. I didn't know if anesthesia was going to be used or numbing medication. I didn't know what was going to happen in that appointment. So they did, the dentist, I have an African dentist. She has an all black staff and one Caucasian lady. And female staff, actually. Yeah. And she came in, she did the x-rays, they looked at it. They told me that they could fill it this time, but next time either crown or removal. Okay? So it went fine. I got out of my appointment a little after 10. I went and got breakfast, and I ended up at the library about 10:30ish. So I would have been late. And then, so I'm glad I pre-did the session. And then I did have some thoughts during that time. I still had my room reserved, and I'll share those thoughts with you later on during this live. And there were some beautiful things that happened over the weekend. And I thought of some things that I had listened to in regards to this power couple. And I said, you know what? I'm just going to whip up something amazing to share with y'all. So that's what I did during that time, instead of spending it on a live with you all, since I had did it pre-recorded earlier, since I didn't know what was going to happen. But I discussed some things with my mom this morning, and it brought some conversations to light that I had had with individuals based on some information I learned this morning. And I jotted it down right before our live because I wanted to be part of today's, not Monday's, today's session. I said, this can't wait. I got to write it down right now for the live. So based on that, we're going to do some breathing, baby. Woo, woo, breathing. We're going to do these scriptures. A little scripture magic from the greatest spell book of all times, the Bible, the number one seller. And then we're going to introduce who's in the chat, and then we're going to get started on all the deliciousness I worked on for today for Spell 20. Baby, let's get witchy. All right, so breathe. Whatever's been bothering you, let it go. Empty the trash. Day 20, Proverbs 21, 5. The long way is the shortcut. The thoughts of the steadily, diligently tend only to plenteousness, but everyone who is impatient and hasty hastens only to want. Amplified Bible Classic Edition. If you plan and work hard, you will have plenty, and if you get in a hurry, you will end up poor. Contemporary English Version. The plans of the diligent lead to profit as surely as haste leads to poverty. New International Version. Oh, hello, cutie squish. That's a cute name. Hello, darling. Hello, Shonda Thompson -NB9XX. Welcome to the chat, sugar. All that busy work you're doing and ain't no money. Baby, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let me get these wonderful notes that I whipped up for us. All right, before we get started on spell 20, the Covenant Eye, we talked about we just got finished with the Testament of Solomon with the demons building the temple. We are back now to the canonical book, Bible, and not the pseudo. And we are on 2 Kings. We did 9 and 10 today. Of course, I don't have that because I just got out of class this morning. But we did 7 and 8 yesterday. And I've got oh, yes. We 7 and 8 was covered yesterday. By the way, Rev is into her new home in Texas and in her new hot spot. So congratulations to her. She did it from the house this morning, her live. So we're going to talk about 1 Kings 8. It's the absolute peak of the entire project, the moment where the physical container they built in chapter 7 transitions into a living, operational, demonic cosmic portal because it was created by demons. When you read between the lines of this chapter, it isn't just a religious ceremony. It is the evacuation of a massive international rural technology designed to anchor a cosmic current into a fixed earthly point. This is where we talk about going from Kether to Malkuth on the tree of life. All right. The installation of the curve, 1 Kings 8:6, they bring the Ark of the Covenant out of the temporary tent in Zion and slide it into the hidden center, the dark window inner sanctuary, Kadosh HaKadashim, most holy place, right underneath the massive wings of those giant integrated threshold guardians. 1 Kings 8:6, then the priest brought the Ark of the Covenant of the Lord to its place into the inner sanctuary of the temple to the most holy place under the wings of the cherubim. And we know cherubim are not cute holy angels because we read church lied, ain't no angels in the Bible. The evacuation of the ego, 1 Kings 8:10-11, the exact second the priest pulls the carrying poles back and steps out of the inner chamber, the Shekinah glory drops. It manifests as a thick, dark cloud, anon, that completely fills the room. The text notes that the priests couldn't even stand up to perform their rituals because the raw weight, priests doing rituals, imagine that, because the raw weight and vibration of the energy was too overwhelming. Spiritually and psychologically, the human ego and standard religious mechanics had to get completely out of the way for the demonic cosmic presence to anchor. 1 Kings 8:10 for the cosmic presence to anchor. 1 Kings 8:10-11, the cloud filled the house of the Lord. When I read things like this, I keep thinking cosmic law. So the priest could not stand to minister because of the cloud, for the glory of the Lord filled the house of the Lord. The paradox of containment, 1 Kings 8:27. Solomon stands before the altar, lifts his hands, and delivers his massive prayer. Right in the middle of it, he drops a profound esoteric truth bomb that completely undermines the idea that a building can hold God. He openly admits that the infinite cannot be boxed into a physical coordinate. 1 Kings 8:27, but will God indeed dwell on the earth? Behold, heaven and the highest heaven cannot contain you. How much less this temple I have built? He is acknowledging the paradox. The building isn't a cage to trap the divine. It is a lens to focus it, which is why you have a personal altar, and we talked about you setting up your altar day one of 40 money spells. The global podcast. Solomon explicitly calls out the foreigner who doesn't belong to the local tribe, but travels from a distant land because they heard of the mighty hand and outreached stretched arm operating at this location. He prays that when these outsiders look towards this temple, their prayers are answered too. This completely blows past standard exclusive tribalism. He's acknowledging that they have built a universal power plant, demonic universal power plant, a localized grid node that anyone with the right spiritual resonance can tap into, regardless of where they come from. Once you see it, you can never unsee it. The entire text transforms from a dusty piece of religious history into a highly technical blueprint for a cosmic terrestrial power station. The writers left the clues right out in the open: the gold shielding, the crushing physical weight of the kabod, K-A-B-O-D, the heavy collateral giant bloodlines, Anakim, A-N-A-K-I-M, and the geometric containment of universal elemental forces. They dressed it up in a language of exclusive theology to make their monarch look like the absolute center of the universe. But the underlying operating systems belong to a much older global and cosmic library of technology. That is the Anunnaki. All right. Let's get into today's spell. And then let's talk about that spell in detail and what it means. This took me a long time to get. Spell 20 did. So I don't want you to have to figure it out on your own. Okay, loves? All right. Spell number 20. My mailbox is a check receptacle. Let's get some water going. Water, the most beautiful sound in the world. One of. Notes on this spell. You may be accustomed to receiving bills in the mail. Remember, we eliminated bills the other day. The purpose of this spell is to turn your mailbox into a check receptacle. Step 1. Put yourself in high vibration consciousness, which can be done by 20 minutes of meditation or chanting or dancing or singing or playing with your fur babies, pets. Yes, these are things you do in front of your altar. A few times naked in my case, but that's a whole nother story. Anyway, go to your mail, step 2. Go to your mailbox when your mind is at ease, that you will not be disturbed or seen by neighbors or others, and stretch out your hands to it and proclaim, "You are a check receptacle." Because my life is so full of wonderful experiences, I appoint you, mailbox, as the collector and keeper of all the checks I receive daily. For this, I am deeply thankful. Baby! Step 3. Every time you go to your mailbox, before opening it, pause and see checks in it in your mind made out to you. Feel the feelings of opening your mailbox and finding multiple checks made out to you. We're going to cast some spells today. Yes, we are. Let's get to it. What does a check represent? A check is not merely money. Symbolically, it represents compensation, recognition, validation, opportunities, royalties, commissions, contracts, dividends, settlements, licensing income, scholarship awards, grant funding, residual income. I thought of a few things, or a few movies, where I had seen people that I had watched, that or people I had studied. So these came to mind. Movie Honey, first professional validation. The $10,000 check wasn't just money. It was proof that talent had market value. Love that movie. Aaron Brockovich, settlement checks, justice converted into compensation. J.K. Rowling, advance checks, imagination converted into income. He Got Game, scholarships, talent converted into opportunity. I can talk checks all day. I ain't got all day, but I can talk checks all day. Blank check, possibly converted into abundance. My mailbox is now a receptacle for evidence of value received, not merely money, validation, compensation, recognition, opportunity. I welcome checks and deposits representing talent rewarded, writing, speaking, creative projects, intellectual property, licensing, and royalties. Knowledge compensated, consulting, teaching, advising, strategy, expertise. Opportunity received, scholarships, grants, sponsorships, fellowships, awards, assets producing, dividends, residual income, revenue sharing, profit distributions, passive income streams, unexpected blessings, refunds, rebates, settlements, windfalls, favorable resolutions. My mailbox receives proofs that my gifts have value. My mailbox receives evidence that my work matters. My mailbox receives opportunities that expand both wealth and freedom. I welcome income that honors my time. I welcome compensation that reflects my worth. I welcome abundance that creates more life, more options, and more freedom. Essential oils for your mailbox, which is now a check receptacle, because when I first got to the mailbox, baby, honey, I cleaned the mailbox. Mailbox just as filthy as can be. Hadn't thought to ever clean my mailbox. The dust on it from everywhere, the cobwebs, baby, clear it out, okay? Now, your focus is freedom, leverage, intellectual property, and high-value opportunities. I would keep this blend simple. First, clean it with Florida water. Then bergamot, frankincense, and cinnamon oil. Woo! Bergamot equals opportunity and expansion. Frankincense equals premium value and long-term vision. Cinnamon equals attraction and movement. Now, a few different things you can get for your mailbox instead of a universal check, which I do have available on my Etsy page. Um, we are going through a series right now with Reverend Valerie Love, and it's called The Golden Keys. I've already looked at video 1. I'm reviewing the rest of the videos this weekend. A small gold key. Place it in your mailbox. Opens doors. Go find you a cute gold key and put it in there. A written amount representing your next level. The words paid in full, royalties, licensing, dividends, time freedom. Write them on an index card. Put it in your mailbox. My bag, your check receptacle. Not endless labor, but leveraged value. I got a mantra for you. This mailbox is a receptacle for value received. Put that on your index card. My gifts are recognized. My talents are compensated. My opportunities are expanding. My income honors my freedom. I receive with gratitude, wisdom, and confidence. High leverage sources of income and opportunity. Intellectual property. Create once, get paid repeatedly. These are among the highest forms of time freedom because the asset continues producing value after the initial work is done. We are actually going to look at this from a different perspective when I do a session on Monday, because it says it's the highest form of time freedom. But when you've gone to mastermind classes, you open yourself up to some things that are not readily available in the public light as far as knowledge. So we're going to talk about it. So we talked about some of the potential checks. The book royalties, ebook royalties, audiobook royalties, publishing advances, foreign rights sales, licensing agreements, curriculum licensing, course royalties, subscription content royalties. Symbolism, J.K. Rowling, a manuscript became an advance became a publishing contract became a global empire. Affirmation, my ideas possess market value. That is intellectual property we just left as a category. Let's go to writing and communication. Potential checks, speaking fees, keynote engagement, workshop fees, ghostwriting contracts, article commissions, newsletter sponsorships, editorial consulting, corporate communication projects. Symbolisms, words becoming wealth. Affirmation, my voice creates value. Category 3, consulting and expertise, potential checks. Strategy, retainers, advisory agreements, corporate consulting fees, coaching contracts, organizational development projects, research projects, expert witness compensation, specialized training contracts. Symbolism, knowledge converted into compensation. Affirmation, my expertise is worthy of premium compensation. Category, digital assets. Potential checks, digital products, sales, download, royalties, membership income, software revenue, templates, educational resources, digital guides, licensing fees. Symbolism, one creation serving many people. Affirmation, my assets work even when I rest. Creative licensing. Potential checks, photography licensing, artwork licensing, music royalties, performance royalties, video licensing, brand partnerships, commercial usage agreements, symbolism, talent multiplied through distribution. Affirmation, my creativity generates recurring abundance. Category, referral and connection income, potential checks. Referral fees, affiliate commissions, partnership payouts, finder's fees, strategic introductions, symbolism, being rewarded for creative connection. Affirmation, my network creates opportunities. I've got an article on Substack called Company Ships, not friendships, company ships. And I describe what a company ship relationship is. That is your network. Creates opportunities. Category investment and ownership, potential checks, dividend payments, profit distributions, partnership income, revenue sharing, business ownership, distributions. Symbolism, ownership creates freedom. Affirmation, I receive income from assets I own. Category education and scholarships, potential checks. I just got a grant on day 2 of Claim It Now of 40 money spells from Skip. Thank you. I greatly appreciate you, darling. Potential check, and I got to talk with the CEO. Potential checks, grants, fellowship, research out awards, educational stipends, scholarships, creative residencies, symbolism, potential recognized and funded. Affirmation, opportunities find me. Category, unexpected compensation, potential checks, tax refunds, rebates, class action settlements. I have a class action settlement check coming to me. Insurance reimbursements, recovery payments. All right. I wrote down in my book when I was going to, to do notes yesterday, yesterday, in the movie of Honey, Romeo Miller, known as Benny, it breaks my heart to see you selling yourself short, and I quote. All right. Now, I learned this morning that a 38 million food program was turned down. That's what I was talking to my mom about, for the summer program for kids in 12 states, Indiana being one of them. So I did do some research this morning, and I shared with her a story of a young lady I had talked to. The lady just got a job at Burger King. 5 children. 2 of the 5 children are newborns. And I looked at her and I said, "Oh, that is so nice. You are the CEO of 6 companies." And she just kind of looked at me. Yeah. Because not only did we give the shadow a job, baby, all 6 heirs that you birthed here, they have jobs too. They have their own companies, even the newborns. So we'll talk about what kind of jobs on Monday. But I wanted to show you how this works, because this 38 million that these 12 Republican states have turned down for assistance for the summer for the children is $120 per child. Hold on. Times 5, 0, 5, 0, 6. So that's quite a bit right there. I could use that. I could use $600. Okay. Now, I said, well, I don't know. What is the average cost for a 40-hour week for an employee working at Burger King? If I don't know if father's present or not, we just go on based off of what she's making. It's $12.50. It's $12.50 an hour. We're going to say single mom. Okay. And sure, there's assistance out there. Absolutely. Utilize all assistance to get where you need to go. Okay. That is available to you until you reach the level that you desire to be at. There's a program called Child Employment Tax Deduction. In 2026, it pays $16,100 completely tax-free for the entire year. Monthly, that is $1,341.66 per month. From a family business to child without a single dollar amount being taxed. You have an entire family business. Entire family business. You get paid, your children get paid, they get to spend a certain allowance since you managing all 6 of the companies. They get to spend a certain allowance. You are putting a certain allowance up for their education or whatever they decide to do, creative wise, as far as schooling or creative presence. So we will talk in details about what they can do. For the lady who worked at Burger King, who got their job at Burger King, I told her, girl, they all own a merchandise line. They are all using their creative projects, creative ideas. They are all writing books. She's got a daughter who braids hair, Caucasian lady, and she's got a daughter who braids hair. So I'm going to assume that the child is biracial. If I had to assume, not most people of Caucasian race are braiding hair. And that doesn't mean they don't know how. It just means I haven't seen many people do it. And I said, yeah, she could be writing her first book about her experience doing that, things of that nature. So we had a short 5-minute conversation. Absolutely. So I've got some ideas, and I will be sharing those ideas with you. We covered quite a bit today. This has been absolutely scrumptious. We'll look at things again on Monday with a different, fresh perspective. This is one of my top favorite spells. The top. Okay? After doing all the rest of that work, the check receptacle, and I hope that in the things I didn't know when I was getting myself involved by making that my check receptacle, making my mailbox my check receptacle. But I now have a better idea, and I have shared those ideas with you. I hope it helped. Oh, love tubers, thank you so much for rocking with me, baby. For rocking with me, baby. See you on Monday. Have a delicious Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Mwah. Okay.